second week of April. So today I'm going to be planting out some of our stuff that we've grown in the greenhouse. So I need to make some room because we've got a lot more stuff to sow in there this afternoon. So I'm planting out the cauliflowers, some beetroot and some rocket. I'm going to plant some rocket direct as well. We love rocket. I mean, it's our top seller crop. It's available all year round. Can't beat it really. So what I'm going to do also, I'll be adding a little bit of lime to each planting hole for the cauliflower, just to add a bit of lime to the soil. Not too much, just a little bit in each hole, because lime depletes the soil very quickly. So I'll add a little bit to each cauliflower planting hole rather than put it over a whole bread and spread it out. I like to add it to the planting hole. And this afternoon I've got lots of sowing to do in the greenhouse as well. I think there's loads of seeds to plant in the greenhouse. There's so many I can't remember all of them really. But what we do is we do the jobs down here this morning, and we'll pick up again later this afternoon sowing. We'll do the 2 beetroots first. These were sown on the 8th of March. So they've got a bolt hardy and Egyptian flat rooted ones. So what I do is I'll put them there and put a cover over them, because I feel like we're going to could still get a late frost even now, even though we're in the second week of April. So I just give them a little bit of protection. So I put those in. I'll just take them straight out the modules. Good roots on them. Put them straight in. They are little groups. They've got a bit leggy these really, so I'm not quite sure how they're going to develop, but we'll give it a go. So cover them over, and I'll just put a wire down just to hold the cover in place. And I'll only leave that on there for a week or so. Just make sure the last of the frost is gone, and I'll uncover it again. That's it. That's the beetroot done. So I'll do the rocket next. I'll just put these in there straight from the modules into the ground, and I'll thin them out gradually as they grow, and maybe leave 1 or 2 to grow on. But we can use them when they're young as well. So it's just a matter of taking them out the module. The roots are right at the bottom. Just plant them in their clumps. Firm them in, and they'll get away quite well. These won't worry about the weather, so if there is a late frost, I don't think it'll affect them really. They grow all the way through the winter, so not too bad. The last one going in. They should get away quite quickly. Give us a sale in a few weeks' time. That's the last one in, and what I'll do is I'll just sow a little small row as well of direct rocket as well, just to follow on, just a little bit in each. That's it. Put those over gently. Bring it down a bit. That's it. So brassicas like firm soil, so I don't disturb the soil too much. So what I do is dig a hole a bit deeper. As I said, I'll add a little bit of lime to each hole. Then I'll cover those over. And the cauliflowers can go straight in, nicely firmed. We've got a good root system on them. Make sure they're nicely firmed in, and what I'll do is put a cover around this as well to stop the birds, caterpillars and butterflies coming around later. I like it though. We've got a lot of cauliflowers here.
Okay.
Bit of water. Then I'll hoop them over with some netting just to protect them while they're growing. The ground's quite wet anyway, so we've had quite a lot of rain last few days. That should be okay. But we'll net these all over just to protect them. I'll show you when I finish. So that's all nicely covered, so that hopefully should deter the butterflies from coming along laying their eggs. So today I'm going to be planting out our second earlies, which are Nicola salad. Thank you to the guy behind the camera, forgot to say that. Nicola salad are a good boiling variety. I think they were introduced in about 1973, I think, 73, 74. They're yellowish oval with a waxy skin, so they're good for boiling. And boiling is very beneficial for people because it retains a lot more nutrients. When you peel potatoes, you lose a lot of the vitamin C, the potassium and the folate. So by boiling, you're actually retaining a lot of the nutrition.
With the peels on? With the skins on?
With the skins on, yeah, with the skins on. If you leave the skins on, it's better for you. So I'll be planting these today, about 4 inches deep, about 15 inches apart, and these should be ready about July, August. And the first earlies are already in, and they should be ready about June-ish, so these will follow on from those. These are also a good variety if you want a late crop in August. If you sow some of these in August, you'll get a crop in sort of October, November, December, so they're quite a good variety for that as well. What else got to say? They're an easy thing for beginners as well. I mean, other than putting them in the soil, there's not much care required. You can water them if it's very, very dry, and they need earthing up, which means just drawing the soil around each plant when they're about 10 inches high, and that's just to stop potatoes being exposed to light, which makes them go green. Not very tasty, a bit horrible after that really. And some people say they're poisonous. I'm not quite sure whether they are poisonous or not, but they don't look good and they don't taste good. But we added a lot of compost to this soil during the winter as well. And what I'll do is I'll also add some guinea pig manure into each planting hole as I'm going. We've got a good supply from our grandchildren's pets, so I'll add a bit of that because they're very nutrient hungry and they're a very good potato, so hopefully they'll grow well and give us lots of boiling potatoes which we can boil with our skins on. Nice salad potato, as I said earlier, keeps the nutrients in, it's always good for boiling. So that's all the holes dug, got 2 rows. What I'll do is, I said, I'll put a bit of a guinea pig in there, and we plant them rows end upwards, which means the chitty bit or the shoots pointing upwards. It's about 4 inches deep, then cover them over, and hopefully they should start coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, so we've marked all the sticks with Jerusalem artichoke growth, so we know where they are when they come up, hopefully. And they're all in the holes now, with the shitted end upwards. And now I'll just cover them over. Just cover them over. So that's the second earlies in, all marked up with the Jerusalem artichoke sticks. So hopefully they'll be up in a few weeks. I'll do a little top dressing of guinea pig manure on top of that. As we said earlier, it's the second week of April, which is a very busy period for planting out and sowing. I've actually got 15 things I've got to sow this afternoon. Peas, endive, lots of different things to sow. So I'll get started. First one I'm doing is endive, which is a curly leaf variety, Romanesco di Taglio, and that goes around 2 centimeters deep and germinates in around 3 to 7 days. So I'll just do a little thin sowing in each module. Lovely in salads. So just a little bit in each one. So these are around 2 centimeters deep. I'll just firm those in. All these pots were pre-prepared and pre-watered before I started. I like to go and have a sit down after I've done all that, so just getting going again now. So that's that one done. So I'm planting some 2 types of parsley. One's a curly leaved and one's a flat leaved. Flat leaved is Italian giant, and the curly leaved is called Moose Kraus 2. And I'm planting some coriander as well. Coriander sapium. So these go about 1/2 inch deep, and these take around 14 to 21 days. They're quite slow to germinate, these really. Very slow germination period. These are the coriander seeds, so a bit different. I'll just do a few in each module. And these are lovely because you can use the stems, the leaves, and if you let them go to seed, you can collect some seed as well and crush your own coriander, which is lovely. That's it. I'll just cover these over, firm them down. They should be ready in around 2 to 3 months, so it's a matter of successional sowing from now onwards. So the next match I'll probably just sow straight into allotment bed. This gives them a bit of an earlier start though in the greenhouse. That's it, sow's done. 10 days. So Coal Rabbi, delicacy purple these ones are called. So Guy doesn't like these, so I won't plant too many. I'll do them successionally. I'll just put a few in each toilet roll, and I'll knock them down to 1 when they've germinated. So these go around 2 centimeters deep as well, and these will be sown successionally now from sort of this time to mid-August for cropping throughout the whole of the summer period really. That's it. So the next one I'll do is mustard red giant, which is a lovely addition to salads.
Oh dear.
Lovely addition to salads, nice peppery flavour. They go around 2 centimeters deep, and they can be planted successionally.
Yeah.
So these will be harvested in sort of 6 to 8 weeks as well. So I'll plant these successionally as well from now onwards. So I'm sowing a second batch of Evesham special Brussels sprouts now. This is the first batch, they're doing really well. So this will be a second batch, so just to extend the season a little bit longer. So they're quite a small little seed. They go about 1 centimetre deep. So these ones should be ready from December to March, where the earlier ones should be ready sort of October, November time. Just put a few in there and we'll prick them out later. So like all brassicas, they like to be firmed down really well, and I'll transplant those when they're big enough to handle. So all year round cauliflower. We planted out the cauliflowers this morning into a bed, so this is to give us a bit of a later crop again. They go about 1 centimetre deep again. So the ones we planted out this morning should be ready sort of August, September, and these will be ready sort of October onwards. So it gives us a bit of a second crop really. So we've got two types of beetroot. We planted out the beetroots this morning. We've got a bolt hardy and Egyptian flat rooted. So these will be the last ones I'll put in modules. After this I'll sow them directly into the plot. But this just gives them a bit of an easier start. So these go about 1 inch deep, and these should be germinating in 10 to 14 days. So I've got some green sprouting broccoli. Little seeds. They take about 7 to 12 days to germinate. Go about 1 centimetre deep, and these should be ready in about August. I can prick these out when they're large enough to handle. So we've got 3 types of cucumber here. We've got a gherkin type variety called Venlo, which is a sort of dual purpose. It's salad and it's a gherkin which can be pickled. We've got a Space Master 80, which is a nice compact variety, which means you can get a lot more into a space you've got. And we've got a Lemon, which is a sort of round cucumber, very sweet, and it's a very, very old, 130-year-old variety, I think. So we'll put those into pots, and I'll put these into a propagator because they have to be germinated around 18 to 20 degrees. So I'll put 3 or 4 seeds into each pot, and these will be for indoors growing, and I'll plant some more later for outdoor growth. So just pointy in, push down, pointy end in and push down. So I'll put 3 there, I think. 3 in that pot. And as I said, I'll plant some more later for outdoor use. It's a bit too early yet to start the outdoor ones. So all these go about 1 centimetre deep, and these will go into the propagator indoors until they germinate. And I can prick them out and put them on. So these will go indoors now. As I said, they need around 18 to 20 degrees to germinate. So the last thing I'm sowing today is early onward peas. I'm planting these into guttering so I can then push them straight into the soil later down the plot. So these go about 2 inches apart and 2 inches deep. So cover those up, give all my firm down. So I've already planted some peas down the allotment, but I'm not quite sure if some have germinated. I'm sure the mice have helped themselves as well. So this is a way of avoiding the mice, unless the mice somehow get into the greenhouse as well, but I don't think they will. That's it. So that's all the sowing done for today. That's 15 different things sowed here today.